And the spouses.
And the spouses are with us today too.
Yeah.
This is Brandy.
Yeah, this is Steve.
Okay. All right. So we both have a Rivian R1T. It sounds like we both got them around the same time. When did you get yours, Brandy?
December of 2023.
December 23. So the end of 23. When did you guys get yours?
September 2023.
Yeah.
Okay. So about the same. And I know Steve just told me that you didn't get the tonneau cover with yours. We didn't either. Yeah, and I'm kind of glad we didn't because it was kind of a mess, right? Like,
yeah, it was. That's right. They've tried to fix it and they've recalled it a few times, and so it saved us from pulling out our hair.
It saved a few $1,000s too off the top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now that third generation cover looks nice. It looks just like the one the Cybertruck has, right? It has the small flats.
Right.
I wouldn't mind getting that, but Brandy says she doesn't want one. She doesn't know why she would need one. There's so much storage in the R1T already, right? That like you don't really need covered storage back there. Most people don't. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Well, he made like
the reason I made my tonneau cover, I personally made it because we were doing some tent camping with RIvian Club.
Okay.
And on the way down, on the trip, I had tied down a bucket with a lid on it. I actually strapped the lid on the bucket. But when I got on 95, Interstate 95, the lid flew off and almost hit the vehicle behind me.
Oh, wow.
And so I said, well, I got to do something. I like to show off the different things I can do. So
yeah. I've seen a few people do that with the board in there, and some of them they even like stain it to match the color of the interior wood or something, right? So that does look pretty cool. But for us, we haven't had that problem yet, so so we're okay without it for now. So a couple of things. So what makes the Rivian good for camping? Pros and cons versus traditional camper. So I mean, what we like about it is one, the power on board, right? Like, so you can run all your accessories right off the, 120 volt outlets on the Rivian, right? For the most part.
Yes, that's right.
So, and we've camped a few days just using the power from the truck and not even plugging in. And that's pretty powerful, right? Because we have a refrigerator. I'm gonna start showing some of the. I set up a bunch of these pictures here. So yeah, we have a refrigerator. Brandy just used it today to go shopping, right? We have the it's the Iceco Go 20, and we actually put it in back of the front seat. So. I'm sorry, in back of the passenger seat. We flip up the passenger seat, just put it there, and she leaves it there all the time. And we leave that plugged into the 120, and like when she goes shopping, she just turns the outlets on for a few hours, right?
I see.
And brings the stuff home. And we've even, gone on trips where we've left that inverter on for days, and we had like food in the freezer, like on our whole trip. So that's the thing she likes the best, right? Their freezer. There's a picture of her right here. I'm putting it up. It's behind the passenger seat. Fits in there perfect. Doesn't rattle around. I have it strapped down. And that thing is great. Even if it's 130 degrees in the truck, it'll maintain like, below 0 degrees in the freezer.
Wow.
So I think that's our favorite thing we use for camping. But we also have a heater. We have it's a little Lasco heater that's worked really great because we have a little pop-up that we set up. It's called a clam 6x6 when we're camping, and we'll put that heater in there. This last time it was cold and rainy when we went to Massachusetts, and I put that heater in there, and it would warm that thing up nice and warm. So even when it's a little bit of cold out. So we like to use that heater too, not in the tent because it's just like not enough room in our tent. I'll show what the tent looks like here. So this is inside of I'm putting a picture. You guys can't see unless you're streaming it, but this is the inside of our clams. So we have like a little table in there, a couple seats, and we put all of our stuff in there for camping. that we're going to use, and then we just use the tent on the Rivian, for sleeping basically.
Oh yeah, I saw that in your video.
Yeah. So now Steve sent me a picture of your camper. I'll put that up now. So it's like almost like a teardrop.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And it's only 17 feet.
Okay.
It's very small. It's like 2 steps from the door to the bed.
Wow.
It's got a little propane stove in there. Not that we're going to use that. It does have a propane heater, has a propane electric hot water heater, and has a little small area for an very small indoor shower.
Wow.
And toilet. So it's
wow.
Small and has that little dinette area that can change into a very small bed for a child. So
wow. So you even have a potty in there.
Yeah, you saw.
Right.
Did you? I sent some.
Yeah, I saw some. I got some of the pictures.
Okay. Yeah,
So yeah, that's funny. That's one of the things Brandy got is a little thing to go to use the bathroom in the middle of the night. She puts in the clam and she goes down there and uses that if we're too far from the bathroom.
And to add though, the clam actually has like walls.
Yeah, you can
solid
close
walls,
it. You
so
can close it.
So
Yeah.
I'm not an exhibitionist.
So that's nice. So yeah, we're talking about some of the gear now. I'm gonna show off our tent here. Let me see. Do I have it? I'll show this one off. Yeah. So this was a picture of when we camped up in the Berkshires a few weeks ago, and you can see the roof nest. The Meadowlark fits really nicely on the Rivian. It's kind of small. Only 2 people can fit in there, and a dog, a small dog. But it's perfect for us, and it's actually lightweight because it weighs 90 pounds, so I can lift it off and just bolt it to the garage wall. We don't need any like pulley system or anything like a lot of people use for the heavy ones. I really didn't want to have a tent like hanging up on my top of my garage all the time. So
and the stairs and
yeah. So it's got the stairs that come down and all that stuff.
So question, Diane, so you said you had been tent camping, and then you got the camper. What was the reason to get the camper?
Yeah, well, I'm getting a little bit older, and the most recent tent I bought, I didn't realize a dome tent you had to crawl in and out.
Yeah, it wasn't a stand-up tent.
Oh yeah, that's rough. That's rough. And the ladder, the rooftop is rough too. You gotta climb up the ladder and then down. But it's not that bad. I mean, it's probably not as bad as crawling in on the ground.
Yeah, ours was on the ground. It was
on the
ground tent.
Yeah.
We didn't do the truck tent because of our age. We just thought that'd be hard on us. So
you don't want to fall out.
Yeah, we did a ground tent.
Yeah.
But
So one of the features the Rivian has is the self-leveling though. So like when we go set up, I put it in camp mode and it levels out. And like on this last trip, it was like very uneven. You could see like the front wheel was way down, but it kept the tent perfectly even. Within like 5 minutes, it levels that thing out. And so that's one of the features. And then the camp lighting and all that stuff is nice too. You can leave the power on the vehicle, right? And like I leave one of the floodlights on at night, so that you can leave that thing on for a week probably, without putting a dent in the battery. And running like the refrigerator, and Brandy also has an electric blanket that we plug in. We run that. We have like a K-cup coffee maker that I plug into the Rivian, and I use the gear tunnel for all, making coffee, for cooking. I got a little griddle, 1300 watt that I plug into the outlets. I use that to make pizza on the last trip. Yeah. You should see that Brandy got these little pizzas. I was like, I want a pizza. And she came, these like 3-inch pizzas. And then, Tom, he laughed. He says, that's not a pizza.
Yeah.
But they're actually good because they fit in the freezer of that Go 20 freezer is pretty small, so the little ones fit in there. So those are some things we use, and we run all that stuff, and maybe it uses like 5% battery overnight running the refrigerator, the inverter, all that stuff. It doesn't really use that much. You guys notice that too?
Well, what we do, because since we have solar and we have
Yep.
100 watt hour battery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a picture of that battery Diane sent me. And I'll put links to all this stuff too later. I found that on Amazon too. So yeah, you got a LifePo 4 battery.
Right.
And how has that been working with the solar?
That works well. We have to watch it carefully because before I put the 100 watt hour in, it came with a 64 flooded battery.
Yep.
And a deep cycle marine RV battery.
Yeah.
And it ran out on us.
Oh.
And it's really surprised me. So, and what we do, as soon as we were looking at the camper, I could tell that I could run the air conditioner off the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So I put extra shore power on the camper, and I use an extension cord and plug into the outlet to run the air conditioner.
Mm-hmm.
And everything else I can run off the battery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we recharge the battery off the truck. I mean, we plug the recharger into the truck.
Oh, I saw you charge the battery off the truck too. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And then solar when you need to.
Sure. Yeah, just to be sure if the solar's not doing enough, because it's only 200.
Yeah. Those LifePos, the BMS will shut the battery off too, right? If it gets down below a certain, it just cuts all the power, right? Yeah, I know about that. I was looking at them too. But maybe, a more elegant solution is the EcoFloats. I know they cost more. But like we brought a little, I just got the River 3 Plus. So it's a 600 watt hour power station, right? So it's not huge, but you can expand it, of course, if you want to buy those expensive batteries. The River 3 Plus, you can actually stack more batteries on underneath it, right? But I have that. I bring that with me, and I hook that to 2 solar panels too. I have a couple of Renogy flexible panels I'll bring with, and those are really thin. They don't weigh anything. You could stack 10 of them in the truck bed, let you not even know they're there. So I combine with those, and then that will charge all our phones, and it'll run, charge the lanterns, anything else, that's like lower power consumption. It'll even run the heater maybe for a couple minutes, like in its boost mode. I wouldn't recommend that though. You need something bigger. But it'll probably run the coffee maker, K-cup coffee maker. You could run off of it in boost mode. So having one of those is really nice because it's got the USB ports on it to charge all your phones. It's got the app support, so that's nice too. But yeah, those LifeFlow batteries are really reasonably priced, and you could get a few of them, right, for the cost of that.
138.
Yeah, for sure. Just watch out with any of these. Watch out below freezing. Is that a self-heating battery?
Yeah, it is. But in the winter, I'll bring it in.
Bring it in. Yeah.
It's not that heavy, and
yeah. That's why that OMA makes the lithium batteries for the Rivian, right, to replace the low voltage 12 volt. And their first generation wasn't self-heating, and a lot of them were failing, causing problems. The new ones that are out now look like they're decent, but I'll still probably go for the Rivian lead acid batteries because ours have lasted up to this point and haven't had any problem with them. How about you guys? Did you replace them yet?
No, I haven't replaced them.
Yeah, so I mean, if we can get 3+ years out of them, I'm happy just to, if we can stay in under the warranty and get another set for free, that'd be great. But how many miles do you guys have now?
About 29,000.
20. So yeah, about the same. Brandy almost hit. We're gonna hit 30. I'm gonna do a 30,000 mile review soon. And nothing. It's never been to service. No issues with her Rivian at all that I could find. How about you guys?
Well, I took it in for service. We had, for some reason, on the spoiler, on the top of the spoiler at the back, we had a little overspray, and and it didn't bother me.
Yeah.
But when I waxed the truck, I would see it,
Oh, okay.
and so
Gotcha.
they had come out a couple of times to do a seal on the door, and underneath there was a little bit of a bowing on the underneath side on a panel. We
Okay.
didn't put the metal panel underneath. We just
Oh,
had
okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, I think when we took delivery, they were mostly hand building them, and they were doing a good job. I know a couple other people with the early quad motors, and they've been really good. Then it seemed like once they started cranking out the R1Ss, that's what they could sell volume in. I think they were building them too fast and started seeing a lot of problems on the forums, right? Like people
yeah.
bringing them back right away, like having problems. Um,
we haven't had anything major.
yeah, so it's just crazy how reliable it's been. And I think we're gonna keep it like up at least until the bumper to bumper warranty is up. You know what I mean? Like, because why not? Like the first gens, 5 year. If you can keep it under 60,000 miles for 5 years, you're gonna be good, right? Like if you get if an air spring goes out or something, they'll replace it, right? So,
Right.
but we're not like the type that are like asking for fixing everything, right? Like if we hear a little noise, it's fine because it's not worth my time to go up there. It's a service center, right? Or get them down there unless it's something major, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been happy with it. Now, what else do we want? Okay, so we want to talk about charging in the wild. So yeah, Diane sent me a picture. You guys were using one of the level 2 Rivian chargers. Those are the waypoint chargers, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That was at Santee.
Santee State Park down at
Y'all
Santee.
drove by there.
We've been there. What state is it in? Santee, South Carolina. Okay, did we stop there? Is that the place we stopped with the little
Well,
store?
it was in y'all's video when you said, "Wow, this is a big lake in South Carolina." And you're like,
Okay, yeah. Now I remember. You remember, right?
Yeah, they have a big billboard with a striper fish, and it's not actual size.
I remember. There was like a big lake, and it looked like a lot of like lake activities. I have a jet ski, so I like the water sometimes. Now, so you use that waypoint charger. How'd that work?
Oh, perfectly. I've used it several times.
Okay.
A group and I go down to play golf in that area about once a year. And just after I got my Rivian, I had pulled it up and found it, and actually went down to the state park and charged back in, I guess it was the first time I charged was in late 3 at a charger. And I actually called the ranger to make some of these campgrounds and camp areas, they put up a gate, and I didn't want them to put up a gate
And lock you in there.
have a guy drop me off.
yeah, he slept there.
So we dropped the truck off, and I went and played golf and came back and got it.
Nice.
And another time we went down, and the guys, we were all rooming together, 4 of us, and they were snoring so loud I couldn't stand it. So I got in the truck and went down there and slept in the back seat while I charged.
Because there was nowhere to charge like back in the day. I mean,
air conditioning on, everything, right? Like
yeah.
And those are free, right? Those waypoint chargers are still free.
Well,
they're free.
That is in South Carolina. It is.
Yeah, there's actually a couple up in the UP in Michigan too, where she's from. There's what's the state park that we never went to?
Oh, it's up in the Houghton Hancock area.
Yeah, way up in the
Copper Country area.
Copper Country of the UP. There's a 2 waypoint chargers up there that we're always going to go to. And we never did though.
So Brady's UP then.
Yeah, she's in the UP. And we've driven the Rivian up there once now, just once.
Just once. And we
I saw your video.
Yeah.
It was last summer or 2 summers?
Yeah. It was the summer before.
Okay, 2 summers.
Last summer, but.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, we drove up there and there's not any fast charging in the UP. So there's There. You go over the. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the area, but you go over the Mackinac Bridge. There's actually a Rivian Adventure Network on the southern side, the Mackinac City side, Rivian Adventure Network, and then there's Tesla superchargers there also that are open to all with adapters, and they may have Magic Docks too at this point. So there's two there, but then it's 180 miles to the next fast charger.
Oh, yeah, I
And,
remember
and that's a Tesla supercharger also. So the first time we went, they weren't open to Rivians yet. So we drove straight to her camp, and her brother installed a 240 outlet for us to plug into, and we
That's
charged
right.
there. Yeah. So, and I mean, that is the way we usually, when we go to campgrounds, we find that they let us use the charging. They let us use the 50 amp or the 30 amp to charge on, right? You
Well,
guys notice the same?
we usually never get. We always get the non-electric.
Oh, you do? You go for the non-electric. Okay.
Yeah, primitive, because it's cheaper.
It is cheaper. So I'm putting up a picture of Fisherman's Memorial Campground in Rhode Island. We went there last year. And it's actually, so I was charging off, I think there's a 30 amp and I'm using an adapter on that, right? And then remember, set your maximum amperage to 24, right? Only 80% rule still. So you might burn the whole campground down or
Oh yeah, he's a HVAC
yeah,
contractor.
there you go. I mean, in reality, it'll probably be fine, right? Like it's probably like you're not going to burn up, but it might trip a couple circuit breakers somewhere.
Yeah.
But that campground, there's actually a giant windmill that we were pulling the power from, so that was pretty cool. It was right in the background, and we've done that a lot. We paid for the RV site, and we've used the outlet to charge and run all our stuff. We'll still use the inverter, in the Rivian just because it's like convenient to have the outlets there, right? Not running cords all over. So we've done that a lot.
But the last campground we went to, they specifically said no EV charging.
Yes. So the campground in Shelburne Falls, it was on their first time I've seen it, on the list of rules. They had a huge list of rules. And this was a country air campground, really nice campground though. And it was run really well. They were just sticklers for the rules. And it said no EV charging, so we didn't charge. I felt kind of bad because there wasn't any fast chargers anywhere around in the Berkshires. So I think we stayed there for what, two nights or 3 nights? 3 nights?
3 nights.
3 nights we stayed there, and we ran all off our internal power, for all our stuff, and it wasn't a problem. Then we set to make it back to the Rivian Adventure Network in Springfield, Holyoke, Massachusetts. Yeah, that and they have a Petco there too.
Okay.
So we made it back there, no problem. I mean, you just got to kind of monitor your power, right? You guys do the same thing?
Well, yeah, for us it's easy because the mountains is supercharger ran. When
Okay.
we get there, it's a ran. And then to the beach, it's oh gosh, no, I'm sorry, it's EA ran, and I get free EA charging because of the.
You get free. You get free.
Yeah, free EA because of Hyundai.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Nice.
then
But
the beach is supercharger EA.
all right, so let me ask you guys, like, if you see, even though EA is free, like if you see a supercharger, let's say you're not around the home area, and you're on a road. Let's say you guys are driving to Massachusetts, right? Did you say you're coming this summer or something?
Yeah.
So if you see what type of charger are you going to stop at?
I usually I don't like to go under 50 miles left. I like to have a buffer of 50 miles. And so it just kind of depends. When we plan it, I may stop and have 75 miles, but I'll not let it. I don't want to get under 50 miles.
No more than 50.
I guess that's what 50 miles is. What 15% or 18%, something like that.
But do you prefer? Is there one you prefer?
I don't have a preference on what to charge at.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as
What
I
about
get,
which ones work the most? Like the easiest? What's the easiest to use?
uh, recently, I've not had any failures.
Okay.
Recently, whether I'm using EA or using
Even Circle K. He uses Circle K, and he's used
I use
EV Connect a lot,
Okay.
and he has the apps. He uses the apps.
So you haven't. So they all working pretty good for you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually used the Iona network on our last trip to Florida. In the Tesla, right? We stopped there. We didn't have to, but we made it one of our stops. It was really cool. The rechargery in Apex.
Apex.
Yeah,
Apex.
yeah. So that was nice. And I know you guys went to the Oasis supercharger, right? Where's that one?
No,
we
we've
did.
never been.
We've not
We've
gone.
been to
It's the one with the covers, the solar canopies.
No,
You didn't go to that
never
one?
been there.
Oh,
You
okay.
guys have. The biggest one we went to a 12. This was a 12 cabinet, I think,
Oh, okay.
at Smithville Barbecue in
Okay.
Whiteville, North
Yeah.
Carolina.
That's our
I-
go-to. We love that.
I mean, I go for the Rivian Adventure Network first. That's my number one because we know they're going to work and they're not going to be busy. And the Rivian's showing you in the nav now how many people are in there. You know, if any of the stations are down, right? So that's the number one. And then the number two is Tesla Superchargers because that's in the nav too.
Yeah.
And I look before I even get there. I want to know how many stalls are being used, right? And you know if any are down and what it looks like and all this. So two is Tesla Supercharger. Even though maybe the EA you could charge a little quicker, still go to the Supercharger because the EA, you know, we have plug and charge too. Like it's so much easier, right?
Easy. Teslas and Ram, we have plug and charge. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, you just plug it in, no app, nothing.
Yeah, he really plans it by like distance.
Okay.
And then what's there, and
And,
yeah.
And,
And we use the ChargeWay app all the time.
The ChargeWay app. Okay, yeah, I've seen that one.
Really easy.
And
We pick where we want to go. Look at the ChargeWay app. We're like, okay, and then
there's one thing that Rivian's missing in the navigation that Tesla has that I don't know why they don't do it is state of charge on arrival. So when you say you're going to this Rivian Adventure Network 100 miles away, it's not going to tell you what it's going to say. Oh, maybe you'll have 100 miles when you get there, right? Like it'll give you an estimate of your range when you get there in the nav. But what Tesla does is like, say you're going to a supercharger 150 miles away, it'll tell you that you're going to get there at 6% state of charge. And if you're going a little faster, maybe it'll go down to 5, right? And then you just monitor that state of charge.
mm-hmm.
And that makes it much easier because, like, you know, Rivian's just estimating what your range is going to be. Like, if you say 30-mile range, maybe that's like, I don't know, 15% battery. You know what I'm saying? Like, that they're estimating. So then it's basically like an estimation of an estimation that you're counting on, right? I don't know why they don't put, state of charge on arrival, but that's my only problem with the nav.
Well, with the nav, well, it shows you like your miles when you're
Mile. It'll show you miles at arrival.
And we just like if we get in the red zone, we slow down a little bit.
Yeah, slow down a little bit. And the good rule of thumb is like in the Rivian, you're gonna pretty much get 3 miles per percent of battery. So if you're at 20%, you're gonna get 60 miles. You know what I'm saying? Like driving at a normal highway speed, 65, 70 miles an hour. You can always figure that it's a little bit under 3 miles per percent is what I'm seeing in the Tesla. The Model 3 Performance, it's more like 2 miles per percent, going the way I do. So, all right, guys, any other tips or tricks for camping in the Rivian?
No, this is, we got plenty of storage room. Diane and I are looking at doing some of the things like where you have the clamshell tent,
Yeah.
We've got some things that awnings and some things I used when I was doing the heating and air work
Hmm.
that we could put up maybe over the picnic table, at the campground to
Yeah.
store
Yeah.
things.
The clam easy ups work really well. It's kind of like an umbrella. You just like pop it open. It just opens up all at once pretty much. And there's no like poles or anything to set up. It's hard to explain. It folds out flat and it comes in a carrying bag. And then you can get covers to cover the sides. And it's mostly waterproof. Like if it really rains, it's
What's
called a
it?
clam. I'll put links in the video.
Oh, okay.
It's everything. But yeah, we really like it because it's pretty much waterproof. It's pretty portable. So you can easily carry it around. And like I want to keep like a minimalist, camping idea so that we don't bring too much stuff with us, right? Like
Yeah, but to Steve's point, if you have like an awning, like we can't put our picnic table like in the clam,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like, so that's
Yeah, we got a 6x6, so the picnic table wouldn't fit, but we wanted that one because it was more portable. The bigger ones get like, they're not as waterproof, and we didn't really need anything that big, right?
Oh, okay. Well,
But
we had another question. We want to get more. We're just plugging in our
yeah, don't
plugging in our.
don't let your battery die.
Yeah, I know. Plugging in our because we. Yeah, here we go.
Run out of
So,
power.
Oh no,
but no, we're
is
not.
that plugged into the Rivian?
We're just at 20%. Yeah, really. But we want to get more solar for the camper, and so we're gonna figure out how to put it in the controller in the camper. There's a
Oh yeah, a solar charge controller. There's some pretty good ones. I think it's like Victron makes the really good ones.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Ours
but
is a
there's
Harlux. It came with the camper, so we got to figure out.
Oh yeah, you'll need a lithium one that can do
Yeah,
like LFP batteries.
yeah, right, right. So that's our next project. Trying to get more solar.
Yeah, I mean the flexible panels if you're gonna take them down, they're good because they're really light. But if you're gonna strap them to the roof full time or anything like that, it gets kind of messy. I see people trying to glue them down and like there's not a good way to attach
Yeah,
solar
just
panels to the roof. You don't
yeah,
want to screw them because you're gonna get leaks, right? You don't want to.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the ones I have nice grommet holes in them, so you could actually screw them down to something and they would not come off. I actually have magnets too, so I have some like really strong magnets that I use, and I put it through a bolt through the grommet hole. If you had a metal roof that ferrous metal, it would stick and it would not come off. So that's a couple of ways to attach them, but the flexible ones they don't last as long. They're more expensive and they don't put out as much output. Um,
Yeah.
but other than that, they're lightweight and they're super portable. So
Mhm.
there's
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
compromises. But I know you saw the Calsun rigid panels that I got. Those have been really good. They're putting out a lot of power. Over 100 watts a panel, and they're what like $60-$70.
Yeah. Yeah,
So I
they're
really
half
like
the
those.
price and
Yeah,
yeah.
I took over some of Brandy's garden with them, but she still has enough room for tomatoes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're looking at that too for the house. So we're still thinking about the river, EcoFlow River, and then that's the smaller one.
That's a
And then
small one for camping. Yeah, I actually have it under my desk. So when we're not camping, I leave it here as like a UPS for my computer here. So if
yeah.
the power goes out, it'll run, a desktop for like probably couple of few hours, something like that. Probably 3 hours.
Huh.
Versus, the lead acid UPSs, you get like 8 minutes and then it's done.
Yeah.
So these are good to have around because you can use them for other things. You can
Yeah,
take them with you.
yeah.
You can run power tools with them out in the field. So I've
Yeah, they
found they're
are.
pretty handy to have.
Okay. And one other comment to answer Brandy's question about like why I wanted a camper was than other than a tent was also because of the toilet.
Yeah, that,
We like the dinette. And to be honest, that's a sunset trailer. And I'll tell you the price because it wasn't that much. It was 20,000 with
Wow.
that was with everything, and we
Yeah.
got like all the bells and whistles, like
Nice.
extra solar. So it was real. We thought it was really reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, and it's that Rivian pulls it like it's nothing there, right? Like, how much does that thing weigh?
That's correct.
Yeah.
I looked at putting a sway bar on it, and the guy said, "No, you don't need a sway bar.
What does that weigh? 5,000 or 6,000 pounds?
Weighs 2,200."
20, 2,200. Okay, wow.
But
I think
it's
my
very
jet ski weighs
high-
that much.
Yeah, it's not. It's light. It's very high profile.
Yeah.
It's almost like hollow.
Yeah, it's a higher profile. It's made for boondocking,
Okay.
for like public grounds, and so it's high off the ground. So the axle is actually higher.
So you could like go do a little mild off-roading with it.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, we're not,
With the
but we
camera.
could.
And
Yeah,
what do
I
you think
mean-
of the tow mode with the Rivian? Do you like that little tow display that when you hook up, it shows you like it remembers your trailer, right? That's pretty cool.
Right, that's right. That's right.
And
It's a boat too.
it estimates like what your range is going to be while you're towing that vehicle, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
I think mine says, I think it went to like, it still says like 2.1 when I tow the jet ski, but I don't go on the highway. I'm just driving like to the lake or to the river. So I'm never going over like 50 miles an hour. If I was on the highway, it'd probably go way down.
Yeah.
So yeah, that tow mode is really cool. It knows when it's hooked up. And what do you think about backing the trailer up? Like, do you use that bed camera or do you like over your shoulder?
No, we actually have bought
Yeah,
a
we
wireless
bought it.
camera.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Magnetic and just could stick on the back.
I was just talking to Brandy about one of those because like you cannot see back there, right? Like,
And it's
yeah, like I keep my jet ski in the side yard and I can back up and get right on the hitch, right, with that camera. It's so good. I can get right on the hitch, just lower it down. But when I'm going back in, I gotta like look over my shoulder, like, and you gotta have your seatbelt on. I think you probably figured that out, right? That if your butt comes out of the seat, it goes into park.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
So it's one or the other. So either your seatbelt's buckled, or you're in the seat. So you can back up or drive in the seat, but as soon as you go like this, get out of the seat, it goes into park. So that's one thing to look out for towing.
I'll email you the Wi-Fi camera we bought, but of course, like Great Smoky Mountains National Park is non-Wi-Fi, so
There's no Wi-Fi.
Right.
Well, one other thing we want to talk about is so your connectivity when you're camping. Like, do you use the Rivian Hotspot? Do you have Starlink? What do you use?
We a hotspot.
Use the Hotspot, and it works really well, right? We found that even in the UP, we use just the Hotspot.
Yeah.
It doesn't work in our camper though. You have to be in the.
Oh, yeah. You may need to get an extent, like Wi-Fi doesn't go through metal well, so you may have to. Maybe you could get some sort of extender in there. I don't like those either, though. I'll think about a way to get it in there. But I mean, a lot of people. I see all these people like they're like, oh, Starlink. But I mean, it's great if you need it. If you're in an area where there is no cell service, right? Which we've been in some pretty remote areas, and we've always had cell service. Like,
we didn't at the Great Smoky Mountains, right?
No,
not
no.
even the hot spot. For some reason.
Well, we were in the mountains. I mean, in the valley, and there was just no towers. And they say right on their flyers before you go out there is no cell phone, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no shower.
So in that case, you could use Starlink. Yeah, they could use Starlink. Yeah, we've been to the Smoky Mountains a couple of times. We stayed in the cabins in Pigeon Forge, and that was fun, right?
Yeah.
So we like it there too.
You were saying you've always had a hotspot. You were always able to access the hotspot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't been anywhere yet where the hotspot didn't work. So
Okay.
we haven't felt the need, or in a lot of campgrounds have Wi-Fi. So one or the other. That usually is okay. I know if you're out west somewhere in the desert, you probably could use Starlink. You're not going to get a signal anywhere. But yeah, the connectivity and it's great. I mean, that $15 a month Connect Plus subscription, it's a little steep, but it's because you get that hotspot. Tesla charges $10 a month for their premium connectivity, but there's no hotspot. So I don't mind paying it for Brandy so much, but she likes having the hotspot.
Yeah, we have it. We pay
Yeah,
for
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
We got
All
the
right.
Connect Plus.
All right, guys, I think we covered some good stuff. So
Yeah.
maybe once we get some more camp trips under our belt, we'll
Yeah,
come back
for
and talk about them
sure.
again. And thanks for coming on. And are you guys on X at all? Twitter?
Not yet. I mean, I kind of, I feel like, I feel like I'm on social media so much.
Too much? You want me to put your email in the
I don't
description
know.
in case anyone has questions?
What's that?
You want me to put your email in the description in case anyone has any questions?
Oh yeah, my email. Yeah,
Okay.
and my LinkedIn if you want.
I
mean,
will.
I'm
I'll
on
put that in there.
LinkedIn, Diane Wallace, and then Diane Wallace EVs in YouTube.
All right, sounds good. We'll
Yeah.
plug your channel. I'll put a link to your